Sie hören Sport und Musik.
Das Spiel ist aus! Deutschland ist Weltmeister!
In a world where fans fight over whether to call it football, or soccer, two German men defy the odds and call it Fußball. Bringing you inside the German-American football experience. And now, here are your hosts, the Schnitzel Boys.
Yeah, here we are.
Yes, we're here. Monday night,
Bjorn.
our hard-hitting, fan-friendly podcast commences. As I try to remove the rest of my dinner from in between my teeth. I'm done with that. That's it. It's behind us. We're here. We're present.
What'd you have for dinner? What's in your
I had
teeth?
some ham. I had some ham.
Nice. Ham.
From
Very
Oscar's Smokehouse, upstate Warrensburg, New York, which is a very German kind of place.
I think I've heard of that, maybe.
Really?
Were you... Maybe not. Were you upstate?
Perhaps I've mentioned it before. It's
Yeah.
possible. Yeah.
I don't know.
Was yeah, this is still the leftovers for Memorial Day weekend. I said we went to our friend's place, and that's where Oscar's is. And Oscar's has all kinds of things that I don't really see anywhere else, like Leberkäse. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
And
Let's have that.
Landjäger dried sausages. So these are some goodies. And so I stock up on the way home, and most of it is, I mean, it's been a couple weeks, so most of it is already gone, but there was some ham left.
Landjäger is amazing. I used to eat that all the time. It's my favorite. So I cheated this past week. Can we talk about that? I had meat.
You are just not you're perhaps not a vegetarian anymore. It's okay.
Perhaps. I went to a Scottish restaurant the other night here.
Oh, McDonald's?
No, I frequent McDonald's all the time, but no, I went to a place called Tam O'Shanter. Really nice. It's also a nice little steakhouse. It's from the guy. There's a big steakhouse in Beverly Hills called Lowry's, or Lowry's. And then Lowry's is the guy who makes the salt, like the beef salt stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You see him at the grocery store or whatever. That guy owned a steakhouse in Beverly Hills. Then he owned a more budget version of his steakhouse in Atwater Village, near where I live here in Los Angeles, called Tam O'Shanter. It's still a really nice place. They have like hundreds and hundreds of different versions of whiskey.
So the Scottish one is the budget one?
Yeah, well, they're all Scottish.
Okay. All right.
But I had a big old prime rib. And it's
was it good?
I'm pretty sure. Oh, it was delicious. And I think it's cooked in a sous vide. You know what a sous vide is?
Well, that's just how they cook it to a certain point and then they just heat it up. That's just like a professional. Well, anyway, you tell. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe what I'm saying is not true.
A slow and low boil in a boiling pot, kind of like not pot, but like a machine called a sous vide, I think.
Yeah,
and
that's often in like professional kitchens. They brown it ahead of time, then they put it into the wrap it in plastic or whatever, and then it's sort of easy to make things quickly that way.
Yeah, I don't exactly know the system. My sister and brother-in-law, who are both chefs, they have a sous vide in their kitchen, and it's like a giant plastic fish bowl with like boiling water, kind of, that they put meat in, and they have to do it for 3 or 4 days or something like that. And like when it's done, it comes out red, but it's like soft. It's like the whole thing like falls apart. Anyway, it was very delicious. A prime rib. I was in my teeth for a while. The place had like hundreds and hundreds of versions of whiskey. Like every whiskey you've ever heard of, they had.
How many different whiskeys does a person need?
I mean, the whole bottom right corner of the case. When you go in the restaurant, they have a giant case full of whiskey. The whole bottom right corner of the case is just a bunch of Japanese whiskey. So it's whiskey from everywhere.
I don't know.
Scottish.
I mean, I guess I'm
whiskey.
not a huge drinker, but like, how many? It's like here in Brooklyn, it's the craft beers. There's so many. It's like how many? I mean, just like after the 15th different. I mean, it's just beer, right?
Well, so funny. So yesterday I got bombarded by all these photos. My really good friend Tyler is in Austria right now. He flew to Austria yesterday. And then my sister flew to Switzerland yesterday. So one's the Swiss Alps, one's the Austrian Alps. I'm just getting bombarded with all these beautiful photos of the mountains and this and that. My friend Tyler, who's a big drinker, just sending me a whole bunch of photos of beer. And it's a lot of, I guess in that region down there, it's a lot of, what's it called again? Weihenstephan?
Weihenstephaner. Yeah, that's a brand, right? Yeah.
Mannschaft, which is a brand, but I guess it's a regional brand. And what I explained to my friend Tyler is that usually in a bar in Germany, you're in a real bar in Germany, you don't order by brand, you order by beer type. So it's Pils, Weiss, or what's his text? He says like 3 options.
Pils,
you want a Pils,
Alt,
you want a Weiss?
Pils, Alt, depending on if you're in Düsseldorf, you order Alt.
What's is that old brew? What is Alt?
Alt beer. I don't know. I think it's like it's a darker version of a Pilsner, I guess. Listen,
right,
I'm the worst person to talk about this.
But me neither. But I learned that last time. So when you go to a bar there, you're not ordering brands like here in the States. Everything is like, oh, what type of whiskey do you want?
But right. Here it's right there. You just go. Yeah,
Pils.
they have one. They have one thing,
Pils, which is a
right?
Pilsner.
Exactly. Yeah. You go to a. No, that's very true. In Germany, they have it on tap. They have one brand. It's like they have the Pilsner is in their keg or whatever, and that's what they have on tap. That's the thing you get. Yeah.
Out front, there's a sign with the brand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then that's going to be the brand they have.
That's going to be the
Maybe
brand.
They have one or two. When I was in Bremen,
and
it was
mostly,
Jever,
Yeah, Jever, or in Bochum, it's Fiege. In where I am, Duisburg is König Pilsner. Then there's bigger, there's Warsteiner, and like those are sort of bigger, more national. Yeah, it's one thing. I rarely back then. I mean, I'm sure this has changed to some extent too. This whole like sort of people being particular about this stuff has to be happening there too. But back in the day, it's like you didn't pick your bar based on or I didn't, at least. You were like, okay, they have beer, all right, that's fine.
Right, as long as it's beer, it's good.
Like we're going in. Yeah, it's not like, oh, Warsteiner, no. I mean, certainly I would have some preferences. I was never a big Köpi guy. I did enjoy the Fiege back in the day, but here now there's this whole like, oh, you in New York, you go to a bar and there's like 8 different things on tap, and you have to.
Oh, at least 8. You kidding me?
I mean, it could be more. And no, this. It doesn't have to be this way, but it is. That is how it is now.
The San Jose Earthquakes had the longest open air bar in the world, or whatever.
The Lobina, right? That's what it's called.
Is that what it's called? But I think
because Lobina is longest outdoor bar in North America,
and it's a whole bunch of different taps, right? Isn't it like a different tap or whatever? I don't know.
I mean, that's why nobody watches their games, because everybody's hanging out at the. I think that's dumb. It's like, I mean, it's fine to drink beer while there's a game going on, of course, but like, don't. Yeah, I mean, in Dortmund, they bring it, they go around with their big, you can just buy it from somebody that walks by. It's no, people hanging out. It's 2 hours. It's like, this is a constant thing I have versus baseball or football or whatever. It's 2 hours. You don't need a meal. You don't need extra entertainment. You don't need to be hanging out at a bar that doesn't have to be sushi. It's like, it's 2 hours. If you got it, your social activities can be before or after.
Yeah, usually I don't know when I'm at Galaxy games or there's usually a guy walking up to you. Last time I ordered a beer from a guy who walked up to me. It's
Right.
not
Well,
cheap.
Yankee
I think
Stadium
it's
too.
like
Yeah, exactly. It's like $20, like
$30 or something.
$18,
It's up
18.75, I
there.
think. The
Yeah.
can of Yankee Pilsner they give you at Yankee Stadium, I think, is 18. The current going rate is 18.75 for the
And
for the
that's not a
can.
terrible. I don't think that's. I mean, that is terrible. But like, I'm pretty sure that's lower than. I think when I bought mine, I was expecting it to be like 15, but it was like 25 or something. It was like something gross. I was
That's a
like,
lot. Yeah.
Anyway, here he went to a bar in Austria. It was Pils, Weiss, or Beck. That's what they asked. Beck.
Beck?
Imagine being Beck. Is that Beck's maybe?
Beck's is just a Pilsner, no? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or Buck.
Who
Oh,
knows?
Buck, like something heavier?
Maybe that's what he meant.
Maybe. Okay.
But anyway, so I've been really inspired because my friend Tyler, he's showing me all this photo of German breakfast, right? Brötchen and meat and cheeses and all that stuff.
This is
So
headed somewhere. It's headed somewhere.
It's headed
Audience.
somewhere. It's headed somewhere because there's a game on. Germany played a game today.
Yeah. You want to talk about that? No, you talk about the food,
about
then
that.
we'll talk about the game.
Bingo. Bjorn's got it right. It's a light episode today. We're just trying to have a good time here because it's a little depressing talking about the German national team, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Well, we learned today that if you have a brute attacking force like Kai Havertz on the bench, you're never really out of it.
Yeah, he's the real tank.
Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
So I Googled this, but here in the LA area, there's a lot of really good German area restaurants, but they're all like in SoCal. It takes like an hour. They have like little villages. And okay, we got someone in the chat here. Seba S. As Red Bulls, we should rebrand to New York
back to the
roots.
Back to
the roots, baby.
I was baby. Well, anyway, we'll talk. Keep telling you.
That's
we'll
for
get
the
into
second hour. That's for the second
hour.
hour.
I have things to say about the Metro Stars, but like let's German food right now. It's the German.
Okay.
Let's. So you went. So there's a lot of restaurants, but they're in. Okay.
Grocery stores, but they're like an hour away. But I Googled it. Turns out there's a couple very near me, so I decided to try one.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Continental Gourmet Deli or some crap, but it's called the German Deli, and they even have a big cuckoo clock on the wall and German writing on the wall. It's very cool. They had a lot of stuff, a lot of really cool stuff. They had so many different types of curry of sauce. They had they had a whole shelf full of just the Hela, the real stuff. So now I know where I'm going to buy my sauce. But I had still so much left over. But anyway, I decided to buy. I went specifically for the Super Dickmanns, the Schaumküsse. Those are my favorite snack, but they didn't have them.
Ooh, Schaumküsse. You know what those used to be called.
I know.
We're not even going to say it.
We're
not even going to say it.
It's been rebranded. It's been Schokokusse. You could hear about it now. But anyway, they're these chocolate-covered cream things are one of my favorite snacks. But unfortunately, they didn't have any. So I have to go again later or do the hour-long trek to the one further south. But anyway, this is my haul. I got a couple things here. First and foremost, I got German Fanta. They had Fanta from Germany, which is my favorite. You're not a Fanta
here we
guy,
go.
right?
You're gonna. Well, I used to be when I was a child. Yeah.
A lot of the stuff I have maybe slowly outgrown. There's a lot of stuff from my childhood, like my.
I wasn't. This was not a secret dig. This is just I used to. Oh, Haribo.
How does this work?
Haribo. You're out of focus, but I can still tell.
Anyway,
because your background. It thinks it's part of your background.
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe unblur this. But so this is German Haribo because there is Haribo here I think they make them in Canada or something. You usually buy it, but this is right from Germany. This is their Haribo Fantasia.
Oh, this is not just gummy bears. This is something different.
But it's in German. It's right off the boat. So this is the real stuff. A little bit
all right.
Now, this is a side product of one of my favorite things also from when I was a child. This is like one of their newer things. Pom
sticks. Yep, I remember those too. It's like potato chips, but in stick form.
Yeah, and I used to eat Pombeer a lot as a kid. You know Pombeer? It's like the same
No.
company, but they make like little bear things.
Oh.
David Riccio, keep the German food talk going. Always check the back of Haiba, see where it's manufactured. Thank you. Yes, David Riccio, exactly. So that's why I think the American one, which is good in the golden bag, it's classic, but I think they make that in Canada, right? Or Connecticut or something. Where this is import right from, where'd they make this? Somewhere in Germany. From
made in Germany or no? Does
yeah,
it say?
well, some title should say somewhere.
It goes without saying. They don't even have to put it on the bag. Even just having to say it out loud would be an insult.
Oh, Bonn, which was
Bonn.
the capital once upon a time, right?
It was not that long ago.
Yeah, but before the wall fell, it was the German capital, I believe.
I guess
Bonn.
so. Yeah, I guess it is a long time ago now.
And then this is something
But
I
within our
acquired
lifetime.
as an adult.
Oh, what?
Paprika
chips.
chip.
Yeah,
Paprika crunch chips.
these are some
That's the good
classics.
stuff, the paprika stuff. And then this is near and dear to my heart. My grandparents were from a small town not too far from Lübeck. And if you go to downtown Lübeck, they have the Niederecke. You see that? Niederecke Lübeck Marzipan.
Oh, marzipan. Yeah.
Marzipan.
Not a big marzipan guy myself.
I love this stuff. And then if you go to Niederecke in Lübeck, downtown, they have like
Lübeck is
store.
world famous, right? Lübeck is the place for marzipan. Marzipan. What is it? It's like almond. It's like an almond
paste, right?
Paste,
it's like a
right.
Finely ground almond paste. If you ever go to a bakery and eat like an almond horn, it tastes very similar.
It's a little bit like that. It's a very specific and a sort of intense kind of taste.
Once upon a time, it was founded as a health property, like it was supposed to be healthy or something.
Oh, but, okay. I think that's been dispelled.
That was a
this is it. This is it. So you didn't buy any Mozart
chocolate. This is a piano bar, but Mozart Kugel.
I was going to say that usually comes in ball form. No, the Mozart Kugel.
Yeah, that's a bar form. And then I also bought a loaf of bread, but I didn't see the value of just showing a loaf of bread.
No,
I asked about the bread. Should I go get the bread?
Probably already ate half of it. Come on, be honest.
I did. So the bread was from Germany. They buy it. They import it frozen.
What?
Oh, yeah, I thought it was baked locally in the style of a German bread. And he's like, no, this stuff is imported from Germany. It's frozen. They put it in the oven. So I was suspect. I'm like, probably it's not going to taste that good, right? Frozen, blah, blah, blah. But it came right out of the oven. I took it home and I ate like a third of the loaf. It was so delicious. It was a delicious old country rye bread. It was delicious. Anyway, hello, Seba. Seba Mainz fan. I'm a season ticket holder, even after all the years of failure. Red Bulls fans are so bored. They did the wave last game when they lost for nothing. Brutal loss. We had a bye week this week. Seba S, does it taste good? I don't know. I mean, yes, it does, but
the marzipan? Yeah, I don't know. This inspired. I may have to make a trip to uptown to Schaller and Weber to see what they have, the German products. I've been eating, definitely just the curry sauce that my friend inspired me to buy. I've been eating a lot of currywurst, and that is pretty tasty.
You inspired me to make make anything last week too. I just like the fact that I know where I can buy it now. Because my favorite, there's so many different versions, and I've boiled it down to the Schaaf Hele. Like for me, that's the tube of goodness. That's the brand, that's the type. But this store had a bunch of other Hele stuff, just that wasn't even curry sauce. They had like piquant ketchup, so it's not curry ketchup, just their spicy ketchup. Anyway,
my parents used to have that one actually.
Yeah, and it's got its own taste.
Yeah,
to it,
it really? To answer Zeba's question, is it really better, or is it just hits a certain spot, right? You get nostalgic for certain things. Yeah.
Whenever I introduce this stuff to my American friends growing up and stuff, I always think it's going to blow their mind. but the responses are mixed. Sometimes like, oh, this is good. But the responses are pretty mixed because everyone has tastes. So you're right. There is a nostalgic aspect, I think, to this, and also with marzipan with marzipan, it's a very acquired taste apparently.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
I do not like it. I don't.
My brother-in-law though, I introduced it to him, and he loved it. For every Christmas, I give him a giant log of it. He just eats it.
Oh yeah. No, people eat that. Oh, I can't take it. But yeah, no, that's. But you didn't buy any meat products. You're still you're still thinking of yourself as a vegetarian.
Yes, exactly.
Despite your forays into the world of prime rib.
I cheated like 5 times. I went to Vegas and I cheated a lot, and then I cheated once since I've been back. And I'm toying with the idea of cheating one more time.
It's not cheating. You're an adult. You're not cheating on.
True.
There's no. I mean, unless you signed up to the vegetarian to be subject to the vegetarian police. It's just you're not. It's just like you're making choices. You're an adult and you're making choices.
Yeah, I'm cheating on a commitment with myself, right? But also, I love animals. And when I think about it, it makes me feel bad. And, I've got mixed feelings about it. But I did it. I had prime rib. I had a delicious steak. I had a hamburger from Wolfgang Puck because I went to try to get some Wiener Schnitzel, which was on the menu, but they removed it from the menu. No one's been ordering it, I guess. Wolfgang Puck's first famous dish was called My Grandmother's Schnitzel. And it was like a Viennese schnitzel they used to make.
Amazing.
I went to Germany a couple months ago. The food tastes really good. It was Mainz. Last time I was in Germany, which was last May, I went to Mainz. I went to a Mainz Frankfurt game. I love Mainz.
I don't think I've ever been to Mainz.
Mainz is
At
lovely.
least I don't
Mainz
remember.
I
spent some time in Wiesbaden, Frankfurt.
That's nearby.
Heidelberg. I've been in that area, but I don't know. I have no memory of ever going to Mainz, so I may not have been there. Berlin a few times.
Mainz has like 600,000 university students. It's like a college town.
Yeah.
And when I went to the Mainz game, when I went to the Mainz Frankfurt game, on the train to go out there, because like the stadium is in the middle of a cow field right outside of the city, but from the central station, there's just buses and there's jerseys and everyone's doing the same trek. We're all going out there. And on the trek out there, I was amongst like 3 or 4 different like college students. I think one was from Canada, one was from Jordan. They were all speaking English, but they were international students, and they were just out to go because it was the thing to do in town was to go to the game. So it's a unique vibe there. And then after the game on a Saturday night, it was frickin' party club and bars. It was just like party central. It was a really fun town, really fun night. David Richard, cool. Mainz is very nice in the summer. They've turned the riverfront into sort of a beach. Yeah, Mainz it's in the Rhineland, and it's Mainz and Frankfurt are connected by the Rhine River. Right? No, Koblenz and Mainz.
The Main River.
Really? Well, there's the Rhine, and then there's the Mosel. I'm trying to think. Koblenz is in the middle. Who won, Mainz or Frankfurt? It was amazing. I thought it would be a dead rubber game because it was the last game of last season, and I think they were 9th and 10th respectively. And Frankfurt was about to play the Europa League final that they eventually won. And what was the score? Was it a tie? Might have been a tie.
You saying it was a tie, I believe. I mean, just from what I remember you saying.
Yeah. It was a fun game, though, because they're neighbors. So it was like a derby, and they were going at each other and yelling, but they were still very respectful. I remember a young kid with a Frankfurt jersey and sitting in front of me when they scored, cheered, and everyone's just like, yeah! And his mom grabbed him and told him, it's like, do not cheer in their faces. Etiquette lesson or whatever. And I was like, let him cheer. Let him cheer. The thing I remember most was just the beer cups, which we talked about before. I have it in my kitchen.
Yeah. Very efficient.
So
do you want me to? You want me to?
It's time.
Tell you the river thing.
Yes.
So the Rhine is the big river, and that goes past Mainz, but also around the Mainz area, and I think that's why it's called Mainz, is because the river Main, who is a tributary to the Rhine goes off there, and that's what hits Frankfurt. The Rhine actually doesn't go through Frankfurt, but the Main does, which is a tributary.
Oh yeah, Frankfurt am Main.
That's why Frankfurt am Main, and that's why that whole area is called the Rhein-Main, das Rhein-Main-Gebiet, the Rhine-Main area.
Rhein-Main. Yeah, but then Mainz to Koblenz is the Rhine, right? I know Koblenz is the Ecke or the Rhine and the Mosel.
Well, the Koblenz is further north, so it's sort of downstream. Mainz is downstream from Koblenz.
Yeah, Mainz up to Koblenz, then you go around the Koblenz. It's called the Deutsches Ecke because I think 3 rivers merge in Koblenz,
and then it goes down Mannheim, Heidelberg, etc.
Anyway, it's a lovely area, the Rhineland, rivers and wine and castles, and I really had a good time there last time. I definitely want to go again.
It's nice.
Seba S., what's your team in the Bundesliga? Well, Bjorn here is a Bochum man.
Bochum, yeah.
And I'm a Bayern München man.
For better or worse.
For better or worse. I'm a Bayern München man, and you know what's funny, Bjorn?
The Main. David Riccio is daring me to do Derek Ray. Frankfurt am Main. In the Rhein-Main-Gebiet. That's how Derek.
In Mainz, I think on the scarves they have Meenzer.
Mainz,
which I think is the Mainz accent. Mainzer, ein Sonntagsschuss.
Bochum all the way. Can't believe we get another year of Bundesliga. I'm still sort of in disbelief, but yeah, it's happening.
You did it, and my big bad Bayern München won the league, suckers,
because
we signed Rafael Guerrero and all the best players.
We have
gobbling them up.
We have learned now that no other team will win the Bundesliga for the rest of our lives. It's been decided this year.
So Bjorn, what do you think I'm doing on Wednesday night? I have a date on Wednesday night. Do you know what that date is? Do you know who I'm taking out on Wednesday night?
A date on Wednesday night?
Yeah. You're
taking out your half a loaf of bread? I don't know. Where?
Almost. Close. Close. I'm doing that beforehand. No, I have a date with the Meisterschale on Wednesday night. LAFC, my Western Conference team, has a partnership with Bayern München, and Wednesday night versus Houston is Bayern München supporter night.
Oh, so very nice.
Bernie the Bear is going to be there. Bayern München's mascot. The league title is going to be there in the tailgate. So hopefully I can take a photo with the Bundesliga title. It's going to be right next to the MLS.
What do you mean the Bundesliga title?
The silver, the plate.
Oh, die Meisterschale? Die Meisterschale is going to be in Houston?
No, it's going to be in Los Angeles, where I live.
In Los Angeles, I mean, yes.
Yeah. Yes, but the Meisterschale and the MLS Cup, the, what's it called? The Lamar Hunt Trophy? Is that what it's called? Or is that the U.S. Open Cup trophy? No, it's the Phil Anschutz Trophy.
No, Lamar Hunt is the MLS Cup.
What's the Phil Anschutz Trophy? Isn't that the MLS Cup trophy? Anyway, the MLS Cup trophy is going to be there, named after one of the founding billionaires. And the Meisterschale and the MLS Cup trophy are going to be next to each other at the tailgate that I'm going to be at. There's a special scarf that I did not buy, but hopefully I'll be able to sneak one. And then there's 3 sections of the LAFC stadium that's going to be full of Bayern München supporters. And I'll be one of those 3 sections. And it'll be Bayern München night at the Bank at BMO Stadium at LAFC Wednesday night, and I will be there.
Well, that's very exciting.
Seba S., I'm going to New York Red Bulls game on June 21st, June 24th. Maybe we will win. Maybe we'll lose. Maybe we'll lose.
David is...
I was going to say, go home. Have a good time. Seba, thanks for being here. You know how many times I've wanted to have a New York Red Bulls fan in the chat? It's just a bunch of NYCFC fans partying. And I keep pleading. I'm like, where are my Red Bulls fans? Help me out. Help a brother out.
Sebas is here for you.
Seba,
David is inviting me to Newport, Rhode Island. That sounds great. I would have, maybe we'll meet up. I don't know if you're in Newport. Hartford, Connecticut is probably, we can meet in the middle in October when Germany's playing the US in Hartford. Perhaps maybe
Our
that
friend has a party bus.
maybe that be yeah, Hans Wolf, and the party bus is coming from New York. I don't know if they're gonna have a party bus from Newport. Maybe you need the you can start the Newport party bus. So that's going to be a good time.
To the Rhode
I have
Island
not
party.
been to Newport. I've been to Providence, Rhode Island. I haven't been to Newport. I had a girlfriend who went to, I mean, this is a while back.
I was gonna say this is not Mrs. Schnitzel we're talking here.
No.
We're not talking Mrs. Schnitzel.
No. Anyway,
Ah.
she went to grad school at Brown. So, but this was in the 90s we're talking about. Actually, no, that's
But
not
is
true.
Brown in Newport Beach?
Early 2000s.
Brown
No, I'm
is-
saying Providence. I said I hadn't been, but I mean, it's Rhode Island. It's not like it's a gigantic state. Things are close together.
True. I think it's the smallest state in the country. It's even smaller than Delaware.
I believe
right?
so. Yeah, Delaware is number 2.
But I hear Newport Beach is beautiful. I hear it's a really cool area. So correct me if I'm wrong, David, if it's a great area or not.
It's not a cool.
Seba.
No, it sucks. It's terrible.
No, I hear. Seba, do you have tickets to the Inter Miami game in the fall? That's the big question.
Oh, this is something to talk about. Well, this is really
Again, for hour 2.
This is hour two talk. Hour 2 is going to be all messy, right? We're going to talk
Yes.
messy.
Messy mania, messy
I
all
mean,
day, all night.
Sebas has tickets. He's the season ticket holder.
Exactly,
is he going to
but
keep it?
hold
Are you going
that
to
thought.
keep him? You're going to keep him, or are you going to? I have a friend who has had season tickets for a long time. He just listed them for $4,000 each for the Inter Miami. I mean, he said that was speculative. That was speculative. He thought that was aggressive, and he's willing to, go down. But yeah.
We'll talk about that in the next hour, as that is the big
Right.
question: is are you going to watch it? Are you going to sell them? But we've got 10 minutes left here in the Germany segment. Germany played a game today. Germany played Ukraine this morning. Germany hosted Ukraine in Bremen in a beautiful stadium on a river. We saw that. I don't know if you could see that cool stadium shot. It was Germany's 1,000th game.
Yeah.
And if you read the German soccer history book that Uli Hesse wrote, essentially the whole first half of Germany's history, they just played Austria and Switzerland over and over and over and over and over again. Because back in the day, you hopped in a bus and played your neighbors. So it was just funny. They just kept playing Austria and Switzerland over and over again. Nowadays, they're flying to Connecticut. They're hosting their friends and
right. They're playing all kinds of different teams.
Spiel. And it was at home, a friendly against Ukraine, a team made up of players whose clubs can't even play right now because of a war going on. And you'd think Germany had this one in the bag, right, Bjorn?
I didn't think that. I mean, these days there is we don't have anything in the bag. We don't defend. We can't defend.
Can we attack?
Well,
you can't do that either.
as I said earlier, if you have a pure brute force of a striker like Kai Havertz on the bench, you're never fully out of it.
Well, the big talk.
I kid, of course. What was the big talk
on Kicker? Everyone's like, Hansi Flick's got this new system, high press. It's the boys are going to suffer because of his new system. And when they came out kicking, there was a high press for about 10 minutes. Nicholas Füllkrug in the 3rd minute had himself a gift, a turnover, and he missed, unfortunately. And then a few minutes later, about the 12th minute, 11th minute, we had our goal off of the ping pong deflection. It got in there. And that was the only shot on goal we had until the 80th minute. It was like 12 opportunities, but none of them really on target. And then the Ukraine hit us twice on a counter. And it's like, we're way too vulnerable to counters. In the second half, they hit us a 3rd time on the counter. And it's like, what the heck's going on with our defense?
And they had some other, individual errors, Matthias Ginter being the most sort of glaring, but just kind of couldn't hold on to the ball. Yeah, it's weird. It's like it's not a lucky team right now. Like just a lot of things go wrong, especially defensively. I mean, we keep sort of struggling to figure out what is wrong systemically, but I don't think that's really. I think they're playing fine. They have this very sort of plodding build-up, but that was always. I mean, under Yogi Löw, that was always the case. They won they won titles that way. So this is not a new thing, but it's just the defensive vulnerability is just they just can't stop anything. And I think teams are comfortable sitting deep because they're like, we're going to get opportunities. We don't have to worry about creating too much because things will appear. And it also seems, I mean, yeah, the line was very high. I guess the build-up sort of requires the center backs to and that was sort of a Hansi Flick thing when he was at Bayern anyway, the very high back line. And but somehow it's not working. It's not fully working. I think Nico Schlotterbeck I think Antonio Rüdiger was the best one of the defenders, and he had an own goal, which, I mean, he couldn't do anything about, but it was yeah, another weird game. And then, I made my joke about Kai Havertz, but he came off the bench in the second half at halftime, took out Füllkrug and brought in Kai Havertz. And I was like, how is that going to help with anything? Because Füllkrug at least is a kind of a knipser guy, but Kai Havertz proved me wrong. He outmuscled his defender twice and scored once and got fouled for a penalty second time. So he showed some muscle, and he was the only one. He was the only one who earned any praise after the game. I don't mean to rag on Kai Havertz. I like Kai Havertz. I think during the World Cup, the team looked better with him in it. I thought Hansi Flick's been sort of reluctant to start him because maybe just. He seems to really like his Bayern guys more, but I think Kai Havertz deserves to have the spot, and he did well today. But he's not. I mean, that nobody had that on their bingo card that Kai Havertz was gonna outmuscle his defender twice in a few minutes. That was is unusual.
Well, Kai Havertz was a starter at the World Cup. He played the World Cup.
Not in the.
I think
perhaps against Japan, not against Costa Rica. He was. I don't think that's true. I don't know.
Yeah, I should double check. But he did play. I think there was a lot of rotation. Füllkrug didn't get enough minutes the World Cup, was my opinion. Mm-hmm. A lot of Havertz was there. Mokoku back when he was, in the conversation was there
when he was hot shit.
But moral of the story is same old stuff, right? Don't talk to me about new system, boop, ba, ba, ba. You're vulnerable defensively. You're vulnerable defensively, right? A lot of ball watching going on. And they hold the ball really well. They hang out in the midfield. They pass it, Pep Guardiola style, bet left to right, right to left, left, right.
But nothing in the box. There's nothing happens in the box. Yeah.
Nothing in the box. It's like, and I don't know about you, but I've seen that for about 5 years now, right? That's what I've been seeing. Towards the end of Löw, that's what was going on, and now under Flick, it's just a lot of the same, right? Mehr das Gleiche, a lot of the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Is the quality?
But I don't think that's the problem. I think offensively, I think they don't. They don't have.
Is the player quality
Klose anymore? Well, I think individually, you look at the lineup and I like all those. I like all those players. I mean, in terms of the central defense, the Mats Hummels, Jerome Boateng combination was pretty all-time. Those are two all-time greats at their best, and we don't have, especially the number two. I think Antonio Rüdiger is potentially up in that sort of echelon. I think there's a little bit of a in general sort of shift in philosophy also, maybe that people just in general have these like ball playing. The center back position has changed so much. because now center backs are so involved. This is not specific to Germany. This is everywhere. Center backs are way more involved in build up and have to be higher quality passers, etc. And so they don't necessarily are defensive specialists in the same way that they used to be. So they're more well-rounded players. But then sometimes, like we talked about last week, when you're a defender, mistakes are punished. If you're an attacker, you can miss gazillions of times. As long as you hit it once, you're a hero. And in defense, there's just a lot of shakiness. Nico Schlotterbeck makes mistakes. Ginter today, who's not usually too error prone, but he made one today. I don't know. There's just a lot of. It's just shaky. Also, because the line is so high, then they're scrambling to recover on these counters. And I think, he keeps the system changed within the game. There were 3 defenders, then there were 3 center backs, then 2 center backs. And this is. That's been going on for a while, the poor defense, and it's not. We got a year. We got a year to the Euro, and it's not doesn't fill you with confidence.
Now, granted, it's just the beginning of the summer camp. They've only been in camp for a week or something at best, and they've got 2 more games left. Maybe they'll slowly get to know each other over the next year, but. It's a lot of ball watching, and it leaves a lot to be desired. And that game was just another example of Germany just not being in great shape. It's the same Germany we saw at the World Cup, but it's the same Germany we saw at the Euros.
And there's also this that when they go for these friendlies, they go at it's late in the season. They go at 80%. You could see how when Kai Havertz scored the first goal, there was a little bit of an oomph that went through the team, and they kind of. The intensity went up a little bit, and then they I think they also sort of have that mentality of sort of managing themselves. I think we still think of ourselves as one of the great soccer nations, and so there's a little bit of it's not arrogance, it's just sort of a lack of intensity maybe in these friendlies, and we'll see if they can turn it on for the Euro. Hopefully they can.
From minute 20 to minute 80, the whole time, I'm like, what are they doing? They're just running around with the ball. It's like, loop it in, kick it in. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing that I was wondering. There's definitely they're not just going to cross it into the box, because that is not really a high percentage play. But at the same time, if you don't do anything, if you're just gonna pass it in a half circle around the box, then you're probably better off. Then you're better off crossing it if you're not going to do anything else.
Put it in the box.
They were waiting. They was waiting. Put it in the mixer, right? As they said, this is a pet peeve when people say that. I will not. If you say, "Oh, just put it in the mixer," I will not respect your soccer knowledge. I'm sorry. That's just my.
I'm trying to think. Have I heard that before? What is that? Put it in the mixer.
You hear this all the time in youth soccer.
Is that an AYSO?
This is always what parents will say if the ball. Oh, put it in the mixer. Basically, just cross it in the box and see what happens. And
how would Derek Ray say that? Do you think?
Put it in the. He doesn't use that term. I don't think I've ever heard. But John Strong will say.
45 minutes down. 45
to go. Oh, and it ends up back in the mixer. Yeah, he will say that. Daniel Young would like to spend another minute grieving about Marco Reus and his not being unable to win this Bundesliga title.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel sad.
for him next year. Maybe next year.
They have no. Bayern will always win.
But Daniel Young has Marco Reus and Vincent Kompany in his all-time starting 11.
I think that's fair. That's not a bad.
Marco Reus over Leo Messi. You think for that, because they play kind of the same position, right?
Marco Reus over Leo Messi. Well, I mean, obviously this is personal preference. This is not all-time.
But ask Leo Messi. What do you think about Leo Messi joining the league? That's our main discussion for our USA Hour.
Right after the break.
right after the break. So the way this works, we have 2 streams. We got the Germany hour now, which we're about to finish up, and then at 7:00, maybe a little before 7:00 my time. So I don't know if in the East Coast,
7 Pacific, 10 Eastern.
10 Eastern. We're going to talk about Leo Messi, MLS, the New York Red Bulls. We're going to talk it all in the USA hour, plus USA versus Mexico. The Gold Cup roster was announced today. Lots happening in the U.S. scene, and the German scene slowly dying down. We're going to talk about the national team games coming up. Then we're going to have maybe a special episode about the Bundesliga.
The book club. Yeah, the Beckenbauer book arrived yesterday.
Yeah, I got mine. I'm excited to get it read it. Apparently, the Cosmos chapter is the most exciting chapter. I can't wait.
I'm very yeah. So we're gonna have a book club at Uli Hesse. We're gonna have the Uli Hesse book club.
Maybe we'll get Uli Hesse back on.
Maybe we can get him back on. Yeah, we'll see.
I would love to get Uli Hesse back on. Cool. Well, anyway, so first and foremost, with Germany, right? It was like meh. As far as other news and notes, Hertha Berlin has secured their license for the new season. They have proven that they are financially solvent to be able to play in the second division next year. So Hertha Berlin passed the muster. The big for the last couple of months, their finances have been very worrisome for the Bundesliga, and the talk of the street was that they were not even going to get a license for the new season. But they passed. All 36 clubs in the top 2 divisions got their licenses for next season. So good. How convincingly they passed is up for debate. I think they had to extend another loan or something, and who knows what's going on with that voodoo magic there in the Bundesliga finance department. But Hertha Berlin convincingly got themselves a license, so they're good to go. Dino Topmüller has officially joined Eintracht Frankfurt as their head coach.
That was cooking for a while. Yep.
For a while, that became
official. More. I mean, the transfer. This is going to be the transfer rumors are going to heat up. Nothing. I mean, nothing with
Rafael Guerrero is going to Bayern München is the idea. Konrad Leimer, I think, just officially wasn't.
He already. Today. Well, we knew that for a while. He was going to Bayern. They're not going to get
cooled.
Has cooled any rumors of going to Barcelona.
Right. Lucas Nemeka, I think, was just signed by Borussia Dortmund's toying with signing, and that's a puzzle. That's a puzzle to me, right? Because Lucas Nemeka has not been.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. He hasn't been all that good, but
unless he's coming off the bench.
Declan Rice is probably not going to Bayern. That was sort of cooking for a while. He's going to Arsenal, it looks like. Kylian Mbappe, this is not really Germany related. He will not
go to Bochum,
renew his contract, so he's going to go somewhere. Probably not Bochum.
Maybe
that would be next level. Messi to Inter Miami and Mbappe to Bochum. David Riccios is asking about we've talked about the Beer and Honey podcast here before. We enjoy that. We enjoy that
yeah,
one.
In fact, I criticized them for robbing our content.
For robbing there's definitely some parallels. We're not accusing them of theft. Well, I don't have anything to well, we both have a segment about German specific phrases. Yeah. And ours is called, what is theirs called? Ours is called Sprachgefühl, and they have a different name for theirs. Fußballdeutsch. That's right.
But we even explore the same words, so it's like
sometimes, yeah. So there's definitely some, but we're all, there's no competition. We're all just part of a larger community. Yeah,
we're free. They need 420 more subscribers to continue. That is my favorite podcast other than ours, I would say. But if I wouldn't know any better, I'd say they're probably not even going to continue in the new season. All these podcasts are demanding money.
They've been pretty aggressively trying to get people to pay for it. Yeah,
I calculated.
There's just a lot of that kind of thing now. If you pay $5 a month it adds up. But anyway, the Schnitzel Boys are free.
We're free. We're always free. They said I did the math. I think they said we need $1,600 more by the summertime, or else we're shutting down. That's what he said. And I'm very curious as to what that's for. To buy a microphone?
Well, maybe they have a producer. Maybe they have a producer they're paying. They may have expenses.
Not us, baby. Not us. Okay.
Do we have other?
Germany
There was other. Was there other transfer stuff? No. Gundogan, we don't know yet where he's going to go. You said Dortmund, maybe. I don't know. We don't know yet.
I think Bayern München's also in there. Who knows? Maybe he's going to MLS too. Maybe he's going to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia seems to be snapping up everybody. Right now.
We will keep everybody updated. And so let's go. Let's see us. Come see us on the other side for the US hour.
But the big news is Leo Messi, and I've got a quiz for Bjorn, an American soccer quiz I designed for Bjorn.
I'm gonna be humiliated again.
No, I think I'm gonna do this one.
Okay,
we'll
good.
See. Anyway, stay tuned to the USA. Check that out. This has been Deutschland Hour. Tell your friends and family I'm acute to work tomorrow. Okay, David, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll give you a shout out. And please, you know where we are. Monday nights and also on demand. I'll make sure it's out on podcast tomorrow. You can watch it on YouTube. It'll be in the podcast world by Wednesday at the latest. So I usually do one on Tuesday and one on a Wednesday. Okay. All right, everybody. Tschüss.
Tschüss.
Bis nächste Woche or bis später. You can find us on this channel. Hop on. It's just another click